everybody, welcome again to another edition of Movie Masters. I'm your host, Movie Master Mike, and I'm back and just as mediocre as ever with my review of the episode 1 of Jessica Jones, the new Netflix Marvel series. It just came out today, and it's starring Kristen Ritter as Jessica Jones. You might remember her from Breaking Bad. It's got David Tennant, who was not really in it. He's just kind of a figure, kind of her imagination, but he plays a character called Kilgrave. Mike Coulter, who plays Luke Cage, who was in the episode a bit, and apparently is going to be in every episode, which is kind of curious because he should be getting his own series. We have Rachel Taylor, who played Trish Walker, who is a radio talk show host and somehow knows Jessica Jones and helps her out. We have Carrie-Anne Moss, who you might remember from the Matrix trilogy. She plays Jaren Hogarth, who is just like this big executive lady who gives Jessica Jones some jobs from time to time. And then a slew of other characters. Erin Moriarty plays Hope, who apparently will be in every episode, which is kind of weird because her story seemed like it ended in this one, but their stories are kind of similar between Jessica Jones and Hope, so maybe that's why she sticks around. And then Eka Darville, I hope I'm saying his name right. He plays Malcolm, like one of her neighbors, who's just like this deadbeat kind of junkie guy. And Will Travall, who plays Will Simpson, who I don't remember even seeing in the episode, but apparently she's around. And Susie Abrameet, I have no idea if I'm saying that right. She's only in 8 of these episodes, and she's playing Pam, which I think is Carrie-Anne Moss's like secretary, but I can't be sure. Okay, this show is about Jessica Jones, who is a private investigator, and she takes jobs. Is my wife cheating on me? All these things, stuff like that. She gets some high-profile jobs from Carrie-Anne Moss's character. She's like haunted by the memory of David Tennant's character Kilgrave, and when this husband and wife character come to see her, they say that, oh, our daughter, we think she's missing. We're from Omaha, Nebraska. She came to NYU for track. She's a track star, so we need you to find her. Someone from the police station sent us to you. So she's investigating, and she finds out like she used her credit card recently to buy like lingerie and like suits and ties for her, obviously a new guy. She goes to see her old roommate, and the roommate says she just like up and left one day, and for some guy, and all she said was like, he's so great, and then it turns out she went to a restaurant, and then Jessica Jones starts freaking out, and so the guy says like, oh yeah, they wanted to set a specific table even though people were already sitting there, and he requested that we make a dish from the restaurant that this restaurant used to be. It used to be like an Italian restaurant, now it's an Asian restaurant. And so Jessica Jones starts freaking out. She's the whole time she's having like these like flashbacks of when she was with some guy, and it turns out she was with this guy who is now with this girl Hope, and she's putting it all together. Like she did the same things when she was with Kilgrave, and I think it was like some kind of mind control. She started buying lingerie to impress him and suits, for gifts for him. They went to that same restaurant on their 1-month anniversary. Then something about a hotel, but she starts freaking out when she starts realizing this, and she goes to Trish Walker's house and tells her, "Hey, look, he's back." And Trish Walker's like, "No, you saw him die. It's been over a year." He's like, "No, the same thing's happening to this girl I'm investigating. The lingerie, the gifts, the restaurant." And Trish says the hotel, and she's like, "Yep." So she wants to run, but then she decides, no, maybe she should go try to save this girl. So she goes to the hotel. Kilgrave's already gone, and the girl is just laying there watching the clock, and is like, oh, he's been gone for exactly 5 hours and 22 minutes, and so she's like, oh, he told you not to move, so that's why she doesn't want to move from the bed and just keeps looking at the clock. So she finally gets the girl out of the bed and like clunks her head and takes her to go see her parents at her apartment, and says like, take your daughter and just drive home. Don't ever come back. Don't stop anywhere. Just drive until you get home. But then when they get into the elevator, because Jessica was going to leave too, but she just had to like gather her things, and she sees them at the end of the hallway of the elevator, and Hope pulls out a gun and starts shooting her parents. Jessica runs down to the bottom, and her parents are dead, and the girl's freaking out. So she's still under the mind control, and Jessica tells her like, oh, it'll fade away. Just what my therapist told me to do was remember street names from the childhood, from the street you grew up on. So Jessica Jones, like, she freaks out again, sees that, she couldn't save the girl, and her parents are dead because of it. So she's about to just get in the cab and leave. She was going to go to Hong Kong, but then she decides, you know what? You can either run from things and deny that they're real, or you can face them and try to do something about it. So she goes back into the building. And that was the end of the episode. And overall, it was pretty good. While she was out spying on people for whatever reasons, and she seems to keep spying on Luke Cage. And then she's outside of his bar that he owns, and he invites her in. They start talking. They end up sleeping together. Then she kind of freaks out, and it turns out he will be in all the episodes. So I'm kind of curious to see where they take him, because he should be getting his own show. I love Carrie-Anne Moss in this role. She was, not really in it a whole lot, but you definitely recognize her from The Matrix and stuff. But I liked her. Everything about it was pretty good. It was pretty dark. It seemed like it was in the same vein as Daredevil, and I was actually expecting to see Daredevil in this episode. I wanted her, because she's always like, in alleyways and stuff taking pictures, and I figured you'd probably see Daredevil, running around either in his new retarded costume from the end of the series, or just his, black tights and the mask over his face, which I didn't like at first, but now I do. I like it better than what he had in the last episode. But I kind of expected to see him, running on rooftops and stuff like that, but we didn't. Not that I noticed anyway. But I'm pretty sure we're going to see him at some point. But this episode was pretty good. I'm going to continue watching the show, and I guess that is the point of a first episode, is to get you to want to watch the rest of the series. And I will be watching the rest of the series. It just came out today, so I should be having a review on the whole series out by, today is Friday. I should have it out by Sunday, because it's going to take me a few days to watch all 13 episodes, 12 remaining episodes. But I just want to remind you guys to like, comment, and subscribe on this channel, and watch all of our other videos. We do movie reviews and sports predictions, and we started a movie debate show, and just all these things that we're going to be doing. We're going to bring in some friends in to do board game shows, where we just talk about board games and maybe explain new board games that just come out and stuff like that. So we're going to be expanding out of just movies and sports into the board game realm, and maybe start doing some video game things. So I have a lot of friends that do video games. But until then, I am your host, Movie Master Mike, reminding you to speak your geek and bounce your geek with Geequilibrium.